All right, all right. I think we're recording already. All right. So this question was brought to us by Anonymous. All right, and there's a little backstory to this one. So, what is the question? What is the topic of today's conversation? So, by the way, you don't have to be restricted to just asking me a question. It can also be a topic. You know, if there's a particular topic you guys want me to talk about, touch on, what have you, so it's open interpretation. You can ask me any question about anything. It doesn't have to be about Mexico, and you can ask me to talk about whatever topic you want. It's all up to you. It's all up to the donation. It's all up, again, all the instructions and everything you need to know about how to participate in this thing that we're doing now is down below. It's on my website. Just check out all the information there. All right, so with that being said, question is, why is there so much misinformation about living in Mexico? I mean, I ask this myself all the time. I really do. And so, a little backstory on who's asking me this question. So, it's Anonymous. And this is a new viewer out there. So, shout out to you. So, I posted, I post my videos and my content on Facebook. It's just, remember, I have to grow the channel and I got to do a lot of work. So I got to promote the channel. So obviously I talk about Mexico, certain topics, are in particular, pertain to certain things. So, I post my videos in Facebook groups, that are for expats, I have my own group. Again, all the links are on my website if you want to join the Facebook group for just this channel. But there's a lot of Facebook groups out there that I always encourage you guys to go check out. The thing is that, I don't often talk about it, but you guys find out very quickly. Sometimes some of these groups can be very toxic. But at the same time, they provide a lot of information. And at the same time, that information could be, confusing because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And, there's a lot of misinformation in general. You know what I mean? As a lot of people, before they even come to Mexico, they think Mexico is a third world country. They think Mexico is extremely dangerous. They think Mexico is, all the things about residency. It's everything, where it's like almost impossible to get residency. Where, life in general is, you remember, they tell you one thing and then you come to Mexico and it's a completely different other thing. So, a lot of people are wondering. They want to know, you know what I mean? Like, well, some people already know, but some people don't know as to why there's so much misinformation out there and what's causing it. What's the real reality of it? Look, we can get all conspiracy if you want. You know what I mean? We can put on the tinfoil hat and we can just say, the government, is the one behind all this. And we know that they are a little bit. You know what I mean? When you look at the, U.S. terror threats, you know what I mean? Like all of Mexico's in red. You might as well just go to Afghanistan according to them. So that's one way of looking at it. But I'm not talking about that, okay? I'm really just talking about the fact that, when you go online and like I said, you go to these Facebook groups and so on and so forth, you just get all this misinformation. And then you come to like a channel like mine. I don't want to say I'm the only channel out there. I hope there's another channel or other channels out there that speak the truth besides me. But anyways, long story short, I do know that there are a lot of other YouTube channels. I know that there are a lot of other content creators. I know there's a lot of people on Facebook in these groups that have particular agendas, whatever they are. And they themselves, start spreading misinformation. And look, we just got over, okay, as humanity through a major situation when it comes to health or, the pandemic, whatever you want to call it, okay? And some people, had one thought about the whole situation and other people had another thought. And that's still the case. And you're never going to move them on that. So look, that's kind of like the reality of what we're looking at right now. Because, for example, I look into a lot of the things that, other, people are saying online, and I myself look at it and I'm like, why is this so wrong? Why are so many people out there, spreading so much fake news? And look, the reality is like I was just making from talking about, like I was just trying to make an example earlier, from the pandemic, a lot of people, they just hear it from one person, hear it from another person. And then before you know it, they're playing telephone And no matter what no matter what the information might have been valid to begin with, but just so many people regurgitating it over and over and over again, it starts, turning into something else. Also, there's a lot of speaking points. Again, someone says something on Facebook and then they assume that that's what it is, and nobody ever looks into it. Why don't they look into it? First of all, because everyone's lazy. That's just the reality of it. But number two, things are in Spanish. There's a lot of you guys out there that are not lazy and would like to look it up, but you can't because it's in Spanish, and you guys, whatever. So then you have, moderator Jan, or moderator Peter, I'm just making names up, okay? So I hope there's no one moderators out there named that. But anyways, or whatever, or not even a moderator, but just top contributor in one of these groups that says one thing or says another, and people just believe that. And look, when it comes to other topics, like let's say that we're talking about immigration, hey, there's just facts on immigration. I'm not going to say them here. We're saving that for another video. But, I say one thing. Some people say one thing online and they're lying to you, saying, hey, you need like $7 million a month, to qualify, to get residency, and you got to this, and you got to that, and you got to... And then I'm like, well, no, you don't. You just need to do this, this, and that. Or you just need to do that. Or you just need to do this. And that's it. It's really not that difficult. And so it's like, why is that? And, this actually happened a while ago. One day I was actually, kind of getting into it with somebody online on Facebook, and basically they told me this. They said, look, we hate that you're making these videos telling people how easy it is to get their, immigration status, how to get their temporary visa, how to get their, temporary residency or permanent residency. We hate that you're telling them how easy it is because when I had to get it, it was very difficult. And so they shouldn't get the easy way. They should also have to go through the hard way. And I'm like, oh, really? That's your opinion? So that's the thing. A lot of people out there are just spreading misinformation. Again, it has nothing to do with conspiracy, tinfoil hat, or anything like that. It's just simply that. You know what I mean? You got to do this because I had to do it. You got to this because I had to that. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too detailed. You know what I mean? I don't want to get off topic. You know what I'm saying? But it's that mentality. And so the reality is that, all they're saying, is that, hey, we know that you're right, and that's why we're angry at you, because you're telling people things that we had to find out the hard way. It's like, well, wait a minute, but how is that good? How is that nice? And so I don't understand that thought. You know what I mean? I don't understand that thought process and how people do that, but that is the reality. I think a lot of people out there, unfortunately, because of the world that we live in today, with the social medias, with, all the toxicity that's online, that's really what it is. All that toxicity that's online, and, for lack of a better description, a lot of haters out there. I don't know how to describe it in today's, lexicon or verbatim, anyways. But haters, I'm just looking at it like that. There's just a bunch of haters out there, or a bunch of people trying to take advantage of others out there. And so that's really what I see, because look, a lot of this, the reason that, Anonymous out there, decided to reach out to me, again, first time viewer, first time subscriber, brand new. And they went on ahead and sent me a question with a donation, because they wanted me to talk about this, because, they saw one of my videos that triggered all of Facebook last week for whatever reason. And, all of Mexico expat community foreigner, let's just keep it, real. That's who I, that's where I blew up, I guess. You know what I mean? Hold on. Bruh. But long story short, you know what I mean? That's where this guy found me. He saw other videos of mine. He, her, him, it. Sorry. This person. Don't. Anyways, this person out there. Bruh. This person out there, Anonymous. They were the ones that, they saw my video initially, which was the one that I recorded last week, talking about, hey, can you live out here on $1,088? And that triggered so many people on Facebook, because, well, on Facebook and a lot of these groups, a lot of these people already live in Mexico, and half of them already live in Mexico, and then half of them, are in these groups but they're not living in Mexico yet. They're in the U.S. or whatever. So, they're in the groups asking information, looking in the groups for information, and just studying up, obviously, so they can make their experience a lot better by the time they get here. But other people, remember, a lot of these groups are for locals as well. So, a lot of the people in these groups are locals, people, other foreigners, local foreigners, foreigners, expats, whatever. And they're, in there. And a lot of times they don't get along. They fight with each other, whatever, for many reasons, because of just one of them thinks one way, the other one thinks the other way. And you could see it out here, because there's two groups of foreigners, two groups of expats. One group of expats that's very elitist, and it's okay, man. I'm not against anything. I'm just saying it the way it is. I mean, whatever. But like the reality is there's one group that's very elitist, and there's nothing wrong with that. I got tons of friends and tons of people in that world, okay? And there's other people that are just regular Joes like you, me, and everybody else. And that's the thing, I mean? And in these Facebook groups, a lot of these people that are a little bit more of the elitist type, that came out here and, they are able to prove, their financial requirements. And, they have a pension, a 401k, retirement from Social Security, whatever. They got multiple income streams at whatever age that they're at. And so they come out here and they're living like a king or a queen. Like, no, but literally, like not good. Wearing, they wear a crown and they go around and they like, treat everybody like they're peasants. I mean, for real. I mean, look, and I over exaggerate when I make my videos for impact, okay? Because I'm trying to get a laugh as well. But no, like the reality is that like when I was posting the video about or posting the topic, hey, can you live out here on $1,000 or not? A lot of people were just simply saying, no, that's crazy. How can you live on that? How am I supposed to, give money to the fundraisers? How am I supposed to, keep up appearances? How am I these are actual comments in the thing. And I'm like, really? But, huh? Because to me, it's like, I don't know, when I'm making a video like that, like, hey, can you live out here on $1,000? I mean, that's somebody that's 65 years old. They just retired. They got $1,000 coming in from Social Security, nothing else, no spouse, no kids, no nothing. And they got to survive in the U.S. And it's like, bro, that's not enough to survive a week in the U.S., let alone a month. And so they're looking for options. And so they come across my videos or they come across that topic and they're like, can I survive out here? Yeah, of course you can survive out here. You're middle class out here for that price, for that amount. And you don't have a family. It's just you. That's it. How much are your expenses really? And so a lot of people that live out here, like me and other, meaning frugally, they live very frugal, our lives, meaning very kind of minimalistic lives, or just a different kind of life. My wife is a painter, an artist, for crying out loud. I make videos for YouTube. We're just different animals, And so there's different people out there. And so we live our lives. And so when we come up with our expenses a month, our expenses are around $1,000 a month. Sure, my expenses could be more, but I mean, not really. I mean, why? I mean, you know what I'm saying, of course, and it could always be more. But the reality is that what are my real expenses? And so they come around that. And so like when in some, person that's retirement that doesn't have the expenses that I have, okay? And they're saying, hey, can I make it out on that amount? Of course you can. But if you want to go out and have dinner at the most fancy restaurant in town every other night, if you want to go to fundraisers, if you want to hold fundraisers, if you want to donate and hold donations, for the Mayans or the Aztecs or the poor people or by the way, which is all great. It's all great. I wish I was in a position to do that. I'm in a position to help other people in another way. But the reality is that whatever, a lot of people have other expenses. They need to have their nice bottle of wine with dinner. They need to have all these things. And look, and in their thinking, they say, hey, I worked hard for this. I worked my whole life. I slaved away for a corporation. I hated my life for a good majority of my life. And now, I qualify for financial status and I can come out here and I can live like a king and I can talk like this and I can do whatever I want. And all this stuff. And that's fine. They're entitled to do that. You know what I mean? Look, like I said, I know a lot of people that are a lot richer than that and they don't act that way. They dress like me and act like me and live like me. Well, they have a nice fancy house. But, you know what they say, right? The richer you are, the more you dress like, like this. Kind of like, I got, just shorts, whatever. I'm just nothing crazy here. The ones that are dressing, in Dolce Gabbana, Balenciaga, Rolexes, you already know what's up. Anyways, but the point is that, when you go to a lot of these expat groups, or you meet with other expats and foreigners, depending on who you are, you're either going to get along with them or not, because you might want to join these groups. You might want to be part of these, elitist, or not elitist. I say elitist because my English not so good sometimes. I'm not trying to insult anyone out there. Like I said, I belong to some of these groups. My wife is a painter. I got a lot of friends in these groups. I got nothing against any of these people, but personally, my wife, other people I know, we're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're not going out there to hobsnob. I'm not trying to see which is the biggest donation, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to keep up with, remember, like I keep telling people over and over again, like Seinfeld. I think most people are old enough to have seen Seinfeld and can get the reference. But do you remember when Jerry Seinfeld went to go visit his parents down in Florida, and their parents, they were retired, and they were basically what the old man, Jerry's dad, was more concerned with than anything else was being the president of Del Boca Vista Phase 2. And so that's the thing. A lot of people just don't realize that. When it's someone my age or just a little older or younger, you're coming out here, you just want to restart your life. You want to, you're trying to make money. You're trying to build a business. You're trying to work. You're trying to just, you know why you're out here. But a lot of people that are coming out here, they come out too retired. Again, there's in two different groups. And the thing is that just people out there, they just don't know how to decipher between everybody. They think that everybody that's coming to Mexico is a 70-year-old retired person. Or everyone is a digital nomad. And it's like, no, there's digital nomads. There's, regular people that want to come out here. There's people that have gone bamboo. You know what that is. Where they're just like, enough with, okay, they just want to come out here and live in the village with the people, There's people that are retired. Some people that are barely surviving and they want to come out here and just have a little bit of a life before they go away. While others out there, they're, hobsnobbing and they want to come out here and they want to. And listen, there's everybody. But that's the thing. A lot of people are they forget that there's a lot of us with all kinds of different backgrounds and income streams and financial situations and living situations. And we care about different things. Again, like I was talking about last week when we talked about love and relationships in Mexico, and we're going to be talking about that again next week, Valentine's. So again, mark your calendars. But again, a lot of people care about that. That's their concern. They don't care, about, who... You know what I'm saying? Who's in charge at the Club Med, or at the expat library. It's like, come on, man. Everybody has different situations. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the reality is that, why is there so much misinformation online? It's because there's so many people with so many opinions. Again, when I was starting to inquire on this, like a long time ago already, but it really hit the head last week. Like I said, this is why I got the question from Anonymous here. But really, it really started to hit me when I got that comment from that one person on Facebook. When again, I wanted to keep saying it over and over again, because it's like, she was basically upset at me that I'm telling people how they can live out here legally, okay, for very little. She was hating on that because of the fact that she, had to go through a lot of struggle to get her residency, or had to prove, or had to do all these things. And so they're just upset. They're mad that there is now somebody out there or other people out there that are basically telling, giving you, look, when you watch my videos, you're watching, basically experiences from me and others. You know what I mean? Like, I'm making these videos, and a lot of the information that I'm giving you is coming from experience from me and others that are in these, things. And so, the last video we did, we were talking about pets. And again, a lot of the information I got is, some research, but a lot of it came from other people that went through the ordeal themselves. And we're all learning from each other, and we're all trying to build community here. And we're all trying to, again, just build something, whether it's in the Facebook groups or what I'm trying to do here on the channel by answering these simple questions, or complicated topics, whatever however you want to look at it, is because, there is a lack of that right now. You know what I mean? Even though we have a lot of these communities and you can get really good information, a lot of times you cannot get the actual information you're looking for. For example, when you're looking for information on immigration, why is it so wrong? Why is it just matter of fact that the only way that you can qualify for any visa is that you got to make like over $3,000 a month? It's like, bro, get out of here. You know what I mean? A lot of Americans don't even make that a month in the U.S. and they can barely survive. And they got to prove that to move out here. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. When most of like a typical Mexican doesn't even make $1,000 to $1,500 a month. You follow me? And so that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, and then people, they're scared and then fear leads them. So then automatically they think, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to move to Mexico because I'm never going to make that money. I don't have that income. I don't have the retirement. What am I going to do? Oh my God. And they just don't, again, I talk about it in other videos. I'm not going to talk about it here, on how you can easily obtain your freaking visa. Again, I've made videos in the past. I'm going to be making more videos on this topic. I'm going to, and so on and so forth. We're going to cover this on the next live stream after I'm done with this one. So stay tuned. Once this video is done, I'm going live again in a few minutes, all right? And we're going to be talking about said topic, okay? How you can qualify and so on and so forth. But again, there's just so much misinformation out there, and a lot of it just coming from haters. You know what I mean? Or just coming from people that, again, they did it one way, all right? And then they just think that that's the only way. And look, like I've said before, you know what I mean? If you are getting your residency through financial solvency, 99% of the time or 90% of the time, you haven't even stepped in Mexico. So basically, you're buying your residency. That's pretty, I don't know, not elitist. What's the word? I'm pretty privileged of you, isn't it? Okay, but wait, so every immigrant has to do that? No. How does every other immigrant get into Mexico? The same way they get into most other countries. They got to come here, they got to live here, they got to have a life here, they got to go through immigration, they got to yada, yada, yada. There's a freaking process, man, and everyone's the same. What makes you think that you have to, like go through only one route? And then if you say, oh, you can marry a Mexican, they're like, oh, you can't do that. That's illegal. Sorry, I'm getting loud. In what world is that illegal? How is that illegal? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever other process or whatever other option outside of like you got to make a certain amount of money, it's illegal or it's wrong. And it's like, no, none of these things. And again, it's not just the immigration issue. It's so many other issues. Right now, again, when we were just talking about, again, the video that triggered this, that had Anonymous donate and, giving me the topic to talk here. Another issue was the fact that, people are saying, hey, you're wrong. The rents are high now and yada, yada, yada. So I was already going to make a video on this topic anyway, but they kind of beat me to the punch. I said, you know what? Let me do a little research. Let me not, talk before I, what is it? Anyways, let me not, what is it? Put my foot in my mouth. There you go. Let me not put my foot in my mouth more than what I already do anyway. Anyways, so I said, you know what? Let me go. By the way, I'll show you what I did. Okay? So again, on my website, free. You go to the free info. And right there, you see, they have all these links. Okay, so I just started going to my own links, the same websites that you're going to go to in order to find real estate. And I just started going in the city that I live in, which is Mérida. I checked out a few other cities. Let me see, what cities did I check? I made a list here. Oh yeah, Oaxaca, Querétaro, Guadalajara. So I said, I checked Mazatlan. I checked a bunch of cities. Okay, I checked a bunch of cities, and I realized, oh wait a minute, I was right yet again. Meaning, if you go to Mérida, you can find cheap housing. If you go to Oaxaca, cheap housing. You can find cheap housing in Guadalajara. You can find cheap housing in Querétaro. Now, you want to go to Mazatlan. I don't know what Mazatlan is. Never really looked into it. But when I looked into Mazatlan, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is a beach town. Yeah, of course it's going to be expensive. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. And then people are complaining, oh, you can get a cheap place. Yeah, when I was looking at Mazatlan, I couldn't find any rentals. They were all vacation rentals. It's like, well, what the hell, bro? Of course you're not going to find a cheap place here, but everywhere else, outside of Mazlatan or maybe Mexico City, but everywhere else in Mexico, which is, again, a huge country, okay, you can still find very cheap, affordable housing. So what the hell? And again, I'm going to make a whole video on this because I got to update the one that you're looking at right there on my website. I got to update that one. And I'm going to update it with, again, with more recent pricing. And look, don't get me wrong. The prices have gone up. I have been here 5 years and the prices have gone up. But how the hell are you going to argue and say that, $300 or $400 rent is insane amount of rent? It's like, yeah, it's insane compared to a few years ago. But if you're coming from the US and you're paying $2,500 in rent, listen, man, $400, $500, $800, that should look good. That shit looks good. And by the way, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you're raising the prices, because of all these expats that are moving in." That's not the case. First of all, there's a lot of Mexicans that are now moving from middle class, because it's a big middle class, to upper class. Okay, so there's a lot of Mexicans that are interested in these. Number one, and number two, there are foreigners coming from all over the world. Okay. So don't be thinking that your broke ass coming from wherever you're coming from is you're the top dog, okay? Do you even know how many, again, I asked this to a lot of people out there. It's like, there's people coming from Saudi Arabia. There's people coming from Europe. There's people coming, they got money, all right? They got money, all right? They can afford to pay a lot of money for their rent, okay? And they're not all American, okay? All right? So, in fact, very few, a handful. So it's just, and then the elitism. So that's the thing, a lot of these expats that come out here with their, they might have gotten, let's say they get $3,000 in retirement between them and their partner, and they were living it up, and they're living it like rich people, and they're like, in the hoity-toity. But as time goes on, that same lifestyle that was costing them $3,000, yeah, that's not going to get them that far anymore, because now the Mexican that is actually rich, and he's my age, that ain't nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? Or the guy that's coming from XYZ country, that ain't nothing to them. And so, there's just so many factors out there. And a lot of people are just not, they're not looking at everything that's going on. And they're just in their little groups online, in the Facebook groups, fighting amongst themselves. Well, not everybody. Because a lot of the people that think like me, a lot of just regular folk that come out here with a modest budget and modest way of life, a lot of you guys don't even get involved in any of that drama. And in fact, again, a lot of the friends that got that money and the power and all that stuff out here, they're definitely not on Facebook fighting it out. A lot of the people that are on Facebook fighting and hating and spreading misinformation and all this, they're just haters. They got nothing to do. They're there at home all day. Instead of enjoying the city, they're at home on Facebook telling you how you can't come here. Like what? By the way, a lot of times when I quickly answer is because I'm working, I'm actually. Hold on. Bruh. Let me read some comments, man. I need a second, bro. It's just so funny to me. I can imagine how funny it is to a lot of you guys as well. But anyways, I gotta read some of these comments, man. All right, let's see. Jose, man, I hope you never sell out. No, man. Man, this is me, bro. I'm telling you, man, like, I can't even... this is me. I can't change if I wanted to, all right? In fact, I have changed, because I was talking about this recently, and the fact that I used to say a lot of bad words, F word, this word. I don't say it no more because, it's not good for the YouTube algorithm. But the reason I don't say a lot of these words anymore or talk about these things anymore is simply because... I started meeting a lot of you guys, and then when I started meeting you guys, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I can't be saying these words. This is weird. I started making it weird. By the way, I apologize for the noise out there. That's my water pump right now. So we're gonna let that do its thing while I read some comments, right? So give me 1 second. Let me see. We're just mean and many are just mean and greedy. I help everyone, and I have been coming to Mexico for over 60 years, and I do speak Spanish as a second language. Awesome. Yeah, man, there's a lot of people out there that help. Trust me. I myself do it as well. When I'm in the groups, I try to help. And again, you know this because you've done it and it's happened to you. A lot of times when you're helping and you're giving accurate information, they hate on you and they start attacking you for giving accurate information. you know. But anyways, thank you for the work that you've done, sir, and the work that you will be doing. Thank you. I've always hung with the locals. I avoid mean and greedy people. You are correct. Yeah, man. And so that's the thing. You know, the more you hang out with the locals, the better your life is going to be. And that's the thing. A lot of people that are just coming out here, I apologize for the noise, but a lot of people that are coming out here just to live their life, you know, they're not really, you know, looking to hang out with other foreigners or other expats, you know. They're looking to integrate. They're looking for us to start a new life. They're looking to live like the Mexicans and live with the Mexicans, and you know, they're looking for that life. And so that's why a lot of this stuff, you know, they end up going online for information or help, and they end up just leaving and never going online ever. You know what I mean? Because they could just get better help from broken Spanish, you know, from broken communication with the typical Mexican than they can from an expat that is not only going to be full of toxicity most of the time and not want to help them, but a lot of times, like I've talked before, a lot of the people that are going to be scamming you out there are other expats. You know, the biggest danger are other expats, literally. And I'll say it, you know, other expats, other foreigners, especially if they're from your country, from your origin, you know, from where you are, they're the ones that are going to scam you the most, man. 100%, because they use you. They take advantage of the fact that you don't know, the fact that you are scared and you're in a new place that don't know anything, and then somebody that is, you know, like you know, from your area, speaks your language, and all of a sudden is there to help you, give a helping hand and all that other stuff. You know, those are the ones that you end up trusting the most, and those are the ones that end up scamming you the most. So yeah, 100%. Global says, hello, Jose. I don't personally mind a wide range of people moving here, but my only gripe is how many people come here with nothing and then beg on the street like the locals. Yeah, I mean, you know, but that's their problem, man. You know, you already know that doesn't end well. And by the way, I don't know where that happens. I have yet to see that. I've seen attempts at that. But, I mean, again, this is not the USA. A lot of people get that misconception. You know, they come out here and like, hey, how can I apply for benefits? Like, you know, like, how can I get my government benefits? Like, what benefits? The only benefit you got is they allow you in the country. That's it, you know? But that's the thing. You know, a lot of people that come out here with that idea, you know what I mean, that they're going to be a professional bum like they are in the USA, it doesn't work out very well because there's no money coming in from the government. There's no money for them to, you know, to live. And again, it's very cheap to afford rent. You know, if you're living on the street and, you know, really, I mean, and you're like a foreigner, I mean, you can make enough money where you can afford rent, which is, you know, you can find rent for as cheap as $75. I mean, come on. So I don't know. I have yet to really see those, and I have yet to see be a problem. In fact, I was going to make a video on that. That was a topic that I wanted to cover on this channel. And the more research I did on that, the more I was realizing, hey, wait a minute. There's no bums out here. There's no, you know what I mean? There's no homeless. There's no none of that. You know what I mean? It's like, it happens. There is out here. Don't get me wrong. But it is not even a problem. It's not even a thing compared to the USA. All right. Are you kidding me? And especially the USA these days, it's insane. It's insane. So I don't know. I don't think anyone's coming out here with nothing. But I could be wrong. But as far as I know, I don't know, man. I don't see that. Many of them come as touristy and then only basically panhandle. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know about all that. Let me see. I'm just reading some of the comments real quick. You know, see, okay. There are poor and homeless everywhere at global. Yes, we would love to see all the people prosper and do good for themselves, but unfortunately, that is not the case. That's true. Lots of foreigners come to Mexico and live here permanently from all over the world, and they're quite wealthy. Correct. I'm aware of that. Let me see. I'm reading the comments right now. I'm aware of that, but then when people purposely leave their country broke and go to another country, yeah, but that's the thing, man. You know, you people just have no sympathy for. Do you think somebody wants to be broke? No. Do you think somebody wants to leave their country? No. Do you think somebody wants to be broke and leave their country? No. I was broke and I left my country and I came out here and I was able to be a success. Okay? So that's the thing. And a lot of immigrants that leave their country, believe it or not, are broke. A lot of immigrants that come to the US are broke. Okay? And not just broke monetarily and financially, they're broken because of what happened in their country, whatever the hell that was, okay? And that's a lot of foreigners, a lot of Americans, and a lot of your same people that you're now spitting on and stepping on, that have the same problem, that are coming to this country with nothing, trying to start all over again. Yes, there are bad apples. Yes, there are bad hombres out there, but that's not everybody. And on this channel, I try to give people hope that, hey, if you get off your ass and you make it happen, you can survive out here. You can definitely make it. You can survive, but you got to start somewhere, and you got to, help yourself. No one's going to help you. Okay? But, yeah, I'm not about that. You know what I mean? I am not about that right now with the whole idea of, like not allowing people with lesser means to come into this country. No, that is the idea. In fact, whether you like it or not, it is happening. It has always happened, okay? It is not going to change anytime soon. And I think that's another, I think that is another problem, that is going on, with the people on Facebook. The fact that again, the elitism that I was talking about, there are two different income levels out there. One certain group of people that are just basically coming out here to survive, to live like I did, and a lot of other people did. And then there's that other group, that are coming out here, to really, again, live their older years, their best years of their life, to retire, to live a certain lifestyle. And of course, they want to make sure that the immigrants that are coming are the same kind of immigrants as them. And the reality is that that's not the case, and is not going to be the case, all right? As more and more immigrants are coming over here, a lot of the immigrants are going to be, just regular immigrants, with regular, incomes and regular lives and families and kids and pets and just a regular life. They're not coming out here to retire. They're not coming out here to buy a home and be part of their little, faction of elitist friends that are also in that same, group of Club Med goers as they are. This is not the case. Again, as more time goes on and a lot of immigrants are looking for a better life, and America, Canada, a lot of these countries ain't doing it for them. Well, these immigrants are coming here. Whether you're American or Canadian or European or from Central America or from Africa or from, Russia. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me right now? And so, to me, the idea that the only immigrants that could come out here are immigrants that, meet financial requirements, that's insane. That's why I work so hard to make so many videos, okay, with me, the lawyer, and everyone, and as much information as humanly possible to let you know, again, even giving you my whole life story as to how I came here with nothing, okay, I only had $1,500 to my name, making $0. I was only making a few bucks here and there from gigs that I was working online, and, I'm a permanent resident as of right now. And I still make, around $1,000. I make what you guys, I don't make much. I make around $1,000 a month. Okay? So, and what? I'm not allowed to be here? You know what I mean? Other people that are in my situation can't be here, can't lead, successful and fruitful lives, can't build, a future, or whatever it is, whether you're older, again, you're 65 years or older, or whatever, you're retired, and all you got from the government is $1,088 a month. Why? Why is it that, all of these people are restricted from moving here? Why is it the immigrant coming from Haiti not allowed? Why is the immigrant coming from, you know what I mean? And so that's really what I see online. I really do see that, and that's a lot of that misinformation. It's that, there's two groups of people out there, and unfortunately one group doesn't want the other group, here. And it's there's many reasons for that. And not everybody is the same. There's a lot of people out there that are very nice, very helpful. They're on in these groups helping people and so on and so forth. But, there's a reason why there's a lot of misinformation. It's because, it's on purpose. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of agendas, and a lot of the agenda is simply just haters, just simply saying, hey, I had to do it the hard way, so you got to do it the hard way. Or, simply like, oh, I'm in my nice little group of elite rich friends. I don't want a lot of you riffraff coming out here and messing it up. I want to make sure that when I go to Walmart, I'm the rich expat. I don't want to see a bunch of other, riffraff in Walmart. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. It's like that mentality. And by riffraff, I just mean, regular people. Like, I'm riffraff, Lunar Eclipse says, recently saw a story about new illegals arriving in New York City. Anyway, so yeah, again, we're talking about Mexico here. But yeah, long story short, like at the end of the day, I think that is, a very serious problem that is plaguing a lot of, Facebook, YouTube, the world's out there. Because again, even on YouTube, to me, it's insane to me. Okay, fuck it. I'm talking about it. I'm here. I open my mouth. Let's do it. But look, to me, it's funny. I find it very funny, that when you type in, on YouTube, to find about living in Mexico, a lot of the people that you're going to find out there, the most popular of YouTubes, they're showing you how awesome it is to live out here. But then they're also making it explicitly clear it's not awesome for you. It's awesome for me because I'm rich. Rich. And you're poor, so you cannot come. You can watch me, and you can enjoy it this way. Maybe you can come vacation here, but you can't live here. Sorry, no visa for you, And it's cheap here, and look at the amazing life that I have, but you can't have it. No. And it's like, what the hell, man? What? Because look, when I first moved here, there was no YouTubers, there was nobody out there making videos, there was no content out there, there was no nothing out there. There was just a few people out there, I'll say who they are, Tangerine Travels, and, they seemed, kind of like, they were okay. And then this other group, Kinetic Keenans, which, by the way, they don't make content anymore. I don't know what they're doing. They're out there traveling the world. Shout out to them. But it was really the Kinetic Keenans that I saw because they were living out here like, oh yeah, we're just teaching English, and oh look, we went to the store and look at this, we bought this thing of peanut butter, and look at the prices and look at this, and I was like, oh wait, okay, yeah, that's the lifestyle I'm living. They're young, they're coming out here with no money, their idea was to just be living out here, traveling, learning Spanish, the culture, and they're kind of like backpacking it, but they're, they got kind of like jobs, even though they don't pay much. Whatever. But they had a life, something that I could possibly emulate. I'm like, all right. That's why I was like, okay, it's like, my options were up in the USA. And so I was like, all right, it's time to go. And that's why I chose Mexico, because me llamo Jose Luis Santiago, man. I'm Jose, damn it. So I speak Spanish. So I was like, all right, Mexico should be pretty easy. Plus, I come from the USA. I got, a lot of knowledge and know-how, and I can survive because I've been poor a good majority of my life and survived. And, I speak Spanish. Did I mention that I speak Spanish? So, all these things. I was like, all right, F it. Let's go. Let's ride. Anyways, so we rode all the way down to Mexico, and boom, here we are. But it was really the Kinetic Keenans. Because when I would watch other YouTubers, like I would see, I don't know the names of these YouTubers, okay? But it was like Old Man X, living his old man retired life. I'm not moving to Ajik. I'm not moving to Mazlatan. I don't even know where these places are. I don't know anything about Mexico. I know Tijuana, I know, don't go to Juarez. What? I don't know anything, man. I was dumb. And so to me, I was just like, okay, I know Mexico is just, Latin America. I'm Latin American, Cuban. I know I can handle this. I know it's going to be a rough transition, but it's going to be a lot easier transition than living on the streets in the USA. So I was like, all right, let's make it happen. And like I said, it wasn't until I came across those Kinetic Keenans, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, they figured out a formula. All right. And so basically, that's how I've survived out here. I never had to teach English yet. I'm thinking about it now because, again, you gotta pay those bills, But long story short, that's the way I'm living my life. I am showing you guys, how you guys can do it as well. And again, I quickly remind you guys, if there's immigrants coming, again, all you gotta do is watch the news. It's all over the news, right? All the immigrants that are flooding the USA, all the immigrants that are flooding Mexico, right? Immigrants from all over the world, the poorest regions of the world, right? Some that are impossible to get visas from, correct? And yet, they're not allowed to go into the US, but they're allowed to remain in Mexico, get their residency, and become outstanding citizens in Mexico. So why is it that you, as an American, as a Canadian, that, again, might not meet financial requirements to get your visa outright, but you do have money, you do have some income, you are bringing prosperity, you're bringing knowledge, you're bringing so many more things that these other immigrants cannot bring for whatever reason, you know? Why are they going to tell you you can't come? Why is the government going to be like, no, you can't come. I need to see your ID. You're going to jail. You're getting arrested. Like, come on. You know what I mean? And so like I said over and over again, whether it's talking about immigration, whether it's talking about housing, whatever, I cover it all on my channel. And as I'm getting so many, people that are loving my content, and, again, feeling the same way about my content like I used to feel about the Kinetic Keenans and stuff like that, I'm getting a lot of haters as well, because there's a lot of people out there that don't want me to say any of this information. All right? So, and it's pretty funny. And it's for the reasons that I told you about. And it's even funnier and more insane. Hey, shout out to the spiritualist for the $5 super chat. Shout out to you. Thank you very much. And again, shout out to Anonymous for providing the funding for this live stream for me, for me answering today's question and talking about today's video. Again, we've gone 40 minutes. It was a substantial donation. Again, if you want to know how you can get me to answer a question for you live on the air, all the links are down below. You can go to my website and all the information's there and all that good stuff. But anyways, guys, long story short, as of now, I go online just trying to do research for some of these videos, and I see there's like a million YouTubers out there. And a lot of the YouTubers are saying a lot of the same things that, the famous YouTubers are saying as well. And it's like, huh? And so why is it, I just don't understand. I don't understand why there's a lot of that fake, so much fake news when there is actually more. You can get more with honey than you can get with caca. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I don't know, man. I find it surreal. People making content about how awesome it is to live out here, but you can't live out here. And it's like, why? I don't understand. And by the way, there's a lot of people, okay, that are choosing to come to Mexico on a tourist visa and figure it out. Go for it, bro. Knock yourself out. Why is that bad? Why is that illegal? Why is that, Like, come on. If anyone reads the Constitution and knows the actual, immigration laws, you don't even need a visa, man. You don't even need a passport, okay? I don't want to get into it. Again, just ask all the immigrants that are flooding the border, all right? Fuck. Anyways. All right, let me read some more comments before we put a kibosh, all right, on this stream, and we move on to the next stream, okay? Because we got one more stream to go, all right? And that stream is going to be, what is it? Can you get residency, okay, with only $1,088? Now, there's going to be a lot to that. Okay, so stay tuned for that, because I know a lot of you guys want to know about residency. A lot of you guys want to know about, immigration stuff and all that good stuff. And again, just like in this video, we're, talking about the topic about all this misinformation. So that's what we're doing on this channel. We're trying to dispel a lot of that misinformation and give you guys the truth and provide things like, I don't know, a lawyer, that, will give you the actual truth, as opposed to, again, to me, it's like this. If you want to go out there and not believe a Mexican lawyer, but you want to believe an American YouTuber, go ahead. Go right ahead. Go ahead. I don't care what they say, what their background is, or what they know. Again, you're really going to argue with a Mexican lawyer, a Mexican immigration lawyer, than some guy on YouTube that can present their videos a little nicer than me? Hey, go for it, man. You should maybe stay on your couch, if that's your case. That's really your situation. So don't sweat it. All right, let me see. Let me read a few more comments. No, by the way, shout out to everyone. I see, man, there's a lot of people on this stream. 40 people. Shout out to all of you guys out there. All right, let's give you guys a little shout out. Hold on, let me get the right. All right, shout out to all you guys. I'm just skimming through. Yo soy Mexicana. I'm a Mexican. Okay. That's right. You got to come back, Vivida in USA. Come back. I will teach Spanish and say. You can teach Spanish and English, man. Seriously. Don't limit yourself. Teach Spanish and English. Yeah, no, Kinetic Keenians are doing great. Like I said, I subscribe to them. I'll get a video from them from time to time. Yeah, they're doing. Yeah, they got their coffee company. They're traveling the world. I think they just came back to Mexico. I don't know if they're out here or not. But anyways, okay. So I think that covers everything in today's live stream about this topic. All right. We can talk about it more. If any one of you guys wants me to continue this topic and make another video talking about it, I'll be more than happy. You already know what to do. Go to my website, okay? Right here. Go to my website, and then on my, okay, here's my website. That's my website, and then all the links are there, and then just go to have questions, click there, and then listen to that video. Look at that dumb face I got there. All right, you can, watch that video. Bruh. And read the instructions and all that good stuff. And then, again, you can send me your question and I will answer it in one of these videos or topic or whatever you want me to talk about. So I'm going to take about 5-minute break, 10-minute break. I got to go check on the dogs and all that good stuff. And I'll be back shortly, okay, to answer the last question of today, of this week, actually, which is, can I qualify for residency with only $1,088 in Social Security? So stay tuned for that video. See you guys in about 5 to 10 minutes. I would say see you guys in 10 minutes, all right? See you guys, 10 minutes. See you guys soon.